Alright, well, there's probably no better time to make a video than after you wash your vehicle, so that's what I'm doing right now. This 2013 Expedition here is what I would call a quasi-camper slash bug-out vehicle with a simple solar system that I think I'm just going to explain the solar system right now. I think a solar system comes in handy in a bug-out vehicle for a number of reasons, but number one, you can keep your cell phones charged, you can run fans, you can run lights, and you can do all this without wasting gas by running your vehicle battery to keep the battery charged. So what I've got here is a 100-watt panel on the roof, mounted to the roof rack, the factory roof rack, and I've got a Group 24 deep cycle battery inside, charge controller, the whole 9 yards, 800-watt inverter, and all kinds of good stuff. But we'll get to that in a minute. The panel I was using for my travel trailer, and I got a deal on Amazon last year for about 70 bucks. So I bought the panel. I made this homemade cradle out of scrap wood I had lying around. So it holds it at a 45-degree angle for a ground deployed system, which works pretty well for the northern tier of the US in the spring and the fall when we do most of our camping. You can strap the back of the panel across the wood so it doesn't go flying off, and there's actually a little table there to put some weight on if the wind's really blowing and you want to put some weight on the thing. So the travel trailer has the Furrion solar connection, so I just did a little deal here with a waterproof box with a charge controller. Had about 25 or 30 feet of cable, and that way you can move the thing around and plug it into the Furrion port, and you're good to go. Anyway, the only thing is it gets to be a bit of a project transporting that big panel around, so I wound up getting a flexible panel, even though they cost a little more. And so I needed something to do with this 100-watter, and we bought this vehicle, and I thought, well, this is a good little project. So we're going to go up on the roof and take a look at the mounting system. Alright, so there we are. These are the basic Z brackets you can buy at Amazon. I had to kind of improvise a little bit, so I took a straight, flat piece of steel that they sell over at Menards. Got some bolts, lock washers, nuts, the whole 9 yards, and it actually works really good. There's no movement at all in the thing. I did install that little loop on both ends, put a piece of paracord on there just in case one of these brackets were to give out, but they're not going anywhere, believe me. That's also my homemade awning set up there, which I might get into in a future video. Alright, and I ran the MC4 cables right inside the back window that pops open. I got a couple of MC4 extensions, and what I did is I wound up using this PVC pipe here. They hook pretty nicely right inside that coat hangers and just holds things up. So you could hook fans and lights, and for instance that fan there, fan and light that we got from Amazon. So I just kind of fed the cables along here and went down underneath, down along the floor here, and there we have the charge controller, and yep, proof that it actually works. We have an 800-watt inverter with 2 USBs, which is nice. You can use the USBs without turning the fan on the inverter, which is beautiful. So I have 2 USB extension cables. One of them goes under the bunk and over to that fan there, and the other one is hanging right there waiting for something to be plugged into it. The Whistler I got from Walmart, I think it was about 60 bucks. It's 800 watts, and I think the peak is maybe 1400. But the beauty thing here is we have a 700-watt K-cup maker, so you can make coffee with this. You can get probably a small microwave. You can keep it under 800 watts. You can charge your phones. You can run that fan. You can do whatever you want. And I also have a 12-volt lighter plug running off of the load part of the charge controller, and so I can plug something into there if I ever wanted to. And I did make this little platform here with some foam under it. It fits pretty nicely right over top of the console. That way you can put your K-cup maker on there, or a little buddy heater if it was cold. It doesn't take much to warm up a vehicle this small. And that way you're not scratching up the console or having your buddy heater fall off and start a fire. As far as bugging out with this vehicle, we have a cargo hauler that would go on the back. We would be carrying all kinds of water, all kinds of fuel, porta potty, which actually does fit in the back. If you roll that driver's seat all the way up, you can put it right in front of the bunk. And that's about the bottom line on this. If anybody has any interest in the bed or anything else I did in there as far as putting the bed, the bunk together, and storage underneath, I can do another video on that if there's any interest. So that's it for now.